two things. If the metrics, it's like I don't care what sells as long as anything sells, fine. Then yes, we have succeeded because we are getting new customers at the right NCAC. On the wrong product though. So how do we change that? Well, that's where we develop feeder strategy so that we can push ad spend to proper products. But the feeder strategy also has to have a cohesive narrative.
How do you figure out what's good creative, what's bad creative? How do you iterate? A lot of those things I think are going to be very important, but I think the core thing is what is currently working for accounts. Now, I know that we've talked about, what was it, the Pet Wellness Direct, where that's just that dog sitting down and that's it, and it's just working.
Yep.
It's working on cold too.
And there's kind of like a few things too that we can kind of discuss about like the creative part, because I think there as I go through more and more consulting with clients, Meta has published additional information about their Andromeda engine. I thought it was actually kind of interesting. I'm going to pull up a recent article. There we go. So it's exactly right, where it's basically the Meta's ad ranking. So how does Meta drive like the ad rank essentially? So this is understanding how AI understands your creative. And I think this is where people still kind of struggle with this a bit. This one was March 27th, so it came out, a while ago. I just kind of found it recently, which does suck because I would have loved to have this because I had to figure this out kind of on our own. But
I actually shot a video on this, I think, on
did you
my other channel? Yeah.
Yep. So it's exactly right. But all essentially this does is like imagine having a super brain that can read an entire library of books in a second, understand the relationship between the characters, remember all of the details, and push them into like one cohesive narrative. So it's not just John Moran with the tinfoil hat over here going, they all work together. Like 9 months ago, apparently Meta has also been explaining this. So we have to understand the ecosystem, and Meta is not going to be able to like be so forth in saying like once hook rate's over 35, then it goes to hold rate, and that so it doesn't necessarily explain that in a fine detail, but they do explain the overview of how it works. So I would invite everyone to look at the this article here. I'll just drop this one here in our own chat, and then we can put it inside of the Skool community for this to be more further understood. But this kind of goes right with that SOP that we have here that we've created and also have shared within the group and are constantly iterating it. And I do believe that we have another kind of benchmarked SOP metric that we are utilizing to ensure that GEM inside of Meta's engine of Andromeda is firing correctly. And when they say that they are going to be able to understand the entirety of the ads, that's correct. Like if you upload 10 ads, it's going to read it all and say, okay, can I turn this into a story? And that's where feeder strategy keeps the story cohesive to that one product, service, or category. And this is where also having your creative hook rates are going to be leading the charge on what is seen first inside of GEM. And then what is going to be, how do we understand if what is seen first is going to also have a best benefit there later on? And so what I mean by that is there has been a new metric that I've been tracking that has sort of come to light that does make a lot of sense. And what I mean by that is if we see, like in the last 30 days, this is that company. If we see the last 30 days out of 27...
FabTab's brand new small business, so starting from scratch.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're brand new, and so we're trying to see what works with them. Now we do have amazing creative. The hook rates and hold rates for these are fantastic. Then the like 35 to 70% range. So we know that everything is at least hooking them correctly. Again, we don't really necessarily care what this metric is. This could be $2. It could be $2,000. Don't really mind. Because this is not for us. This is keeping Meta cold. But what is interesting is whatever the metric is, we do know that GEM seems to be working best when we have the top spending ad have the CPA higher than the average of the ad set. So what this means is that we spend the most amount of money pushing most people to this ad, and that ad has one of the highest NCACs. Now it's not the highest. It doesn't necessarily matter if anything else below that is higher or lower. But what this means is that if we're going to push all ad spend to this product or to this ad that has the best hook rate, and the hook rate of this ad is actually fantastic, it's 38%. it's good. We even pause it and kind of we're trying to bring it back a little bit to see how this is actually affecting the overall account. But when we're looking at this one creative here, we see that yes, this hooks people along the same narrative that we're wanting. So you'll see how all this kind of come together when we start to talk through this, because we're humanizing Gem. And what this means is that if they say, okay, what's the first ad that everyone's going to see? It's this one here. And it says, oops, the cleanest thing in your home shouldn't be the label. They put gentle on the front, neutral on the front, safe for sensitive skin on the front, but then flip it around. And now we're at that like 8-9 second mark right there. So this is how we're hooking them. They have a good hook rate because people want to know what's in my laundry detergent. That's something I never thought about before. And so would this be appropriate for this company? Yes, we are a clean brand that has cleaners that are obviously human and pet safe. But the main claim to fame of our company is that that they're tablets, Fab Tab. So it's not Clean Tab or Fab Clean, it's Fab Tab.
Just a concept.
That's exactly right. So what is it that we're trying to portray? Well, we're talking about cleaning, and we're talking about having a very safe approach to your cleaning. But this is really the claim to fame, is that you have this little box full of tablets, and these tablets are super powerful and concentrated and they can last a long time. Now, we killed our LTV a little bit because people order it once and then don't order for like 4 months. So that kind of sucks for us. But are we a clean company? Not really. That's a good benefit. That's a good hook. But that's not what we want to portray. So this is actually a little bit incorrect. Now we're building out multiple other campaigns. We're building out multiple feeders. We're building out multiple creative. This is literally just the first like $3,000 that we spent for the company to try to find out what's working well. However, we do know that as we have gone through this, well, there we go. There we go. Now that we've gone through this exercise and everything, we do know that things are getting better. Like last 30 days, we're still 114% better. We went through Black Friday, Cyber Monday, didn't run it. We didn't really participate in Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but people did order more. Everything is green, heading in the right direction. Good, good Google, good Facebook, good Instagram, good Klaviyo. Awesome. All this stuff is working well, but it is not delivering the type of message that we want. We want to be known for tablets, and the hook is clean. It did hook well, but everything else down below this is not delivering that narrative. So we technically have failed. We've increased our ad spend. Let's say this here. We've increased our ad spend. Well, that's not exactly correct. There we go. We've increased our ad spend 42%, and we're up 114%. Good. Our return customer rate still 5. Good. Like everything's good, but could we continually scale this? Not really. We're not getting the message across, because Gem says, hey, you're a clean company and we're going to show other clean products. Well, who knows that we're super concentrated, high quality, clean, but also cost-effective tablets? Not really. So that's where we would train a user base and train Meta incorrectly, where we've have a go-to-market plan that is close, but it is not perfect. And we have all of these different cleaners and different things. So we do washing machine, we do floors, we do dishwasher, we do windows, yada yada yada, toilet bowls. We have a lot of different cleaners, and you can see that we have 55 ads. Yes, the top spending ad is technically a higher CPA than the average, which means after they start here and they see everything else, they are still purchasing cheaper than the cost of our first ad, which means last click is doing better. They're warming up and it's working better. So that was kind of what we're looking at here is, yes, we have failed, but we've failed successfully. We have a higher CPA than average, but we're not necessarily delivering the rest of the story in the correct format. Gem shows good ads and good hook rates, but now we're a little bit disjointed. It's like, hey, people need cleaner laundry. Introducing the toilet bowl cleaner. That's kind of
the
exactly
story's not aligned.
There you go. That's kind of how we failed. Now, task failed successfully. Increase 50%, receive 100%. Great. Could I increase another 50% again? I mean, probably, but I don't want to. Not yet. We have the wrong narrative. If Meta is understanding everything, it's like, cool, cleaner. That's as much as Meta really knows about us. And we have failed producing the correct cohesive narrative for the AI engine to interpret and find us the right audience, not just find us an audience. And that's a big challenge.
Okay, so this is some very advanced stuff. I'm just
Yeah.
going to say that right off the bat, because normally you kind of go into the two ballparks of like, okay, are we selling the right product or are we efficient?
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, we're selling the right product and we're efficient, but it's not the right messaging. Okay. So the logic there then is that you're trying to address a problem that is going to scale. And if you do not address the right problem, you're going to train the algorithm on the wrong creative that will send you the traffic that might be massive in terms of what it knows, but not necessarily the traffic that you want to train it on to scale further and further. Now, a question on that is why, if you're able to print $1, why not print more dollars in the meantime while you cycle in more? Is the negative impacts of getting that conversion data so high that it, is not worth it? What's kind of the thoughts there? As you drink out of your boot.
I have my boot. I went to Disney World. So now I get a big Das boot. It's like the movie Beer Fest.
That's awesome. That's pure vodka right there, by the way.
Right? Oh, but I got a Russian one. Then it would work. So yes, there's an advanced type of mentality that we're kind of going through, which is we've noticed, and this is getting really, really, really in the depths. So sorry about this. We've noticed that you can train a pixel on an audience, and the audience is based on familiarity of that audience. So if I said, hey, I'm going to use a different scenario that's more obvious that everyone would know. I'm Nike shoes, so like perfect hiking shoes. You guys sell hiking shoes only. Running shoes, I maybe, but hiking shoes. And you're like, no, it's not. That Nike sells everything. Okay, so that means that we have Meta thinks that Nike only sells hiking shoes. Why? But the hiking shoes have a great hook rate, and now the majority of our ad spend is on hiking shoes only. And it's like, well, is it working? Yes. Do we want to become the hiking shoe company called Nike? No. So we have a structure problem. So we're producing ad spend on ads that are working well, but it's for maybe too singular of a category or the wrong category. But because the hook rate was so good, Meta's like, well, sorry, that's your company. So two things. If the metrics, it's like, I don't care what sells as long as anything sells, fine. Then yes, we have succeeded because we are getting new customers at the right NCAC. On the wrong product, though. So how do we change that? Well, that's where we develop feeder strategy so that we can push ad spend to proper products. But the feeder strategy also has to have a cohesive narrative. Hey, if you like this video, we have a school community where we have a few hundred members and we cover topics, everything from the basics to all the way to the like hyper crazy advanced stuff that's like coming out next month. So a few hundred members there. We go live twice a week, something with an hour-long education about something that is very relevant to the community that week, plus a weekly Q&A where you just get to come and bring us all of your problems and we solve them one at a time.
So I have a link below in the description if you want to join. And then obviously if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can answer those for you. And we'll see you in there.